there's this man by the name of Wayne Dyer, who used to be on our planet, that says abundance is not something we acquire. One of the things Gregory and I talked about the other day is that it's more about letting go than it is about acquiring things. So hang on. But abundance is not something we acquire, it's something we tune into. We tune into the vibrational alliance thing. You know, it's like tuning your radio into the right station. You want to hear that music or that music or that music. This is tuning in today to the vibration of abundance.
Right. And so, last Saturday, Denise and I had lunch, and can you imagine the two of us trying to let the other one get a word in? It's kind of how we roll.
It is.
But you know, this idea of abundance, it's so interesting how as we mature spiritually, it looks different in each phase of spiritual growth and development. Now, are we going on? So we're going to talk about these 4 stages of spiritual development or spiritual consciousness. Now, I learned about these from Michael Beckwith, who many of you have heard of. He is a CSL minister at Agape Church out in LA, which is one of the largest churches, and he's pretty amazing. But it turns out, of course, Michael Beckwith was giving us ancient wisdom. These ideas have really been around in various religious systems and spiritual growth and development places. So the first of those stages is it to me. It to me. No, I'm sorry, I'm backwards. Me to it. I have a hard time going there anymore. But me to it, which is this idea that I am constantly trying to make myself worthy of reaching out to something that is greater than me. It is without an understanding that I am it. I am already it. I'm trying to reach out to something that I should be reaching into. Right? And we call that the victim stage because it comes with this idea that it has something it wants from me that I'm not willing to give. You know, and therefore we're at odds and I am its victim. Now I'm going to tell you something about abundant living. It's the opposite of that. And it's really hard to be grateful in that place because I feel like a victim. I don't know what to even be grateful for. I can fake it, and we do. I can fake it. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I wish you weren't beating me down.
Do you all remember talking about that God maybe at some point in time in your lives?
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I get kind of personal. I have a mother that's 92. And what I can tell you about every time I visit her now, she is in that place. What the world has done to her. What the world has done to her. And most of you know that I've been a Unity minister a large portion of my life and raised both of my boys in Unity. And my oldest son and I were having a conversation with her because she had to go to the hospital for something. You know, that kind of happens. Go there and spend 4 or 5 hours and they do whatever they need to do and then they send you back home because, Lord mercy, they're not going to keep you overnight. That might cost so much money. But there you go. Anyway, so I said, honey, how is she? Because he had taken her, and he said, well, you know, she's still hurting. He said, but, you know, I don't know who she would be without that hurting because that's her story. She just tells it to everybody.
Yeah.
And I went, my 31-year-old son gets it. Wow. You know, and I thought, that is her story. That is the story she has told all of these years of all the pain. And so now she has physical pain and psychological pain and all kinds of other pain. And again, I thought it was interesting. My son said that's her story, and that's what she tells everybody.
And she tells herself.
And she tells herself.
Which is probably the worst witness of that pain. So then we go into phase 2, which is it to me and by me, right? So now we've come into a place of understanding that God is actually on my side. And in the Science of Mind textbook, it says, there is a power for good in the universe, and I can use it. Oh, wait a minute. This thing will respond to my wishes, my desires, the things that I would like to bring into my life. Yeah. So that starts, we call that the manifester. That's where we come here, and I think both congregations have this as part of their teaching, that I can manifest things I want, and it's that God that is providing it. But again, I want to remind you, it is you. It's just greater than you, right? So that's what we're really supposed to learn in this phase is, oh, wait a minute, I'm it, but not all of it. It can be used by me, and I can have a life that I want. Here's where the challenge of phase 2 comes in. I can start seeing God as Santa Claus, right? I can start seeing God as Santa Claus. I can have whatever I want. That could be a pitfall because, again, gratitude in that place kind of becomes a little bit egotistical. Look how good I am at this thing. I can really manifest. Okay, that's all right.
So what I added up there is that's kind of an elementary understanding of universal laws. It's like, yes, I can manifest. I have people all the time. I manifested a parking place. Yay. And you know what I usually ask them? What happens when you don't? Then where do you go? You go backwards to the victim consciousness because that person pulled in that parking place you thought was yours? So it's an interesting thing to be right here in this. I remember being in unity in the beginning and going, I can have anything I want. Wow. We're here in group consciousness. You may not even be sitting in exactly the seat you wanted to sit in this morning because somebody else's behind is in it, right? So what does all that mean? What does it mean when we just have an elementary understanding of universal laws? It means we stay stuck. We moved up a rung, but we didn't go all the way up to the top. Is that making sense?
And so we move to level 3, which is it through me. It through me. And we call that stage the vessel or the channel. The channel. Now, here's what is happening here if we are maturing spiritually, which we're not going to get there if we're not. But here's what we have to learn. Oh, it's actually not about me at all. It's about that which is me, but also greater than me, coming through me. So it's my ability to understand that everything I have, everything I am, everything I want to be is something best shared. It's best shared.
Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness.
I want it to come through me. Now, in this place, here's what's lovely. I'm going to have to go back to a little bit of Toltec teaching, and all of you, I'm sure, have read the 4 Agreements. If you haven't, you must this week. But
that's your homework.
That's your homework. But you see, when it says, I can't take anything personally, don't take anything personally, you know that's not just the bad stuff. See, if you're not careful, you get a kind of a shallow interpretation of that, and you go, oh, the things I can't take personally are as when someone calls me a bad name or says something bad about me. No, darlings. we can't take it personally when something good happens. When we are sharing something good and wonderful, you know, people like me and Denise and others up here, that we are up on front a lot, and we get a lot of applause, and we get people afterwards saying, oh my God, yes, thank you, that was so fabulous. You know what I've learned? I can say thank you, but inside what I'm saying is, and it's not about me. You see, I've let something that is me, but greater than me, come through me. Now, that's a place of gratitude.
That's why I said we didn't know what we were going to say this morning.
Yeah.
We just knew what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, and it works in your lives too. You don't have to be up here to have that feeling of every time you see yourself doing good, being good, the good that you want to attract to yourself, and you can go, and even the doing is not about me. It's something I can be grateful for. It's like, oh, God, I appreciate these gifts that you gave me. But you know why you call them gifts? Because they didn't come from you. They're gifts because they were something given to you. How marvelous to be able to say, I have a gift. I get to share it. And then I get to be grateful for both the gift and the sharing. Now we're talking abundance.
And now we're talking advanced understanding of universal laws.
Yeah.
Because you've moved up another rung on the ladder.
Yeah. Phase 4. As me. It as me. Now, this goes a bit further. This goes into what we call oneness. That I get to a place in my walk, and there are moments when I don't recognize a separation at all. All of this really is about getting to this place of, what if there were no separation at all?
What if you never said those people ever again?
Yeah.
What if there were no those people?
Yeah. This is being filled with Christ consciousness so that what I am saying is it. What I am thinking is it. What I am doing is it. And by it, you know, I'm saying God. I've learned in my practice, because I work a lot with people who are not affiliated spiritually at all, I call God it because it gets it out of their mind that there's some person somewhere, probably white, with a white beard and old, right? So if I call him God, that people go there. I mean, literally, but see, if I call it, then they're like, wait a minute, he's talking about something different. Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Talking about experiencing the divine. Or some people call it the mystic mind of oneness. How do we get there? I want to tell you that you all have had some of that experience this morning, because I felt it. Did anybody else feel totally filled up during our silent time of meditation? It was like, where else in the world could we go in this morning and have 150, 200 people all be in the silence together? Wow. I didn't even want to let it go. I thought, well, I'll just sneak off, and I don't know what they'll do once they're done, but wow. Because that is the experience of the divine. I know when I was in his office the other day, I experienced it in his office with the two of us talking. It was like, wow, where does he end and I begin, and what is all of that about? But it's hard to talk about. Again, yesterday in Unity, we're working on vision and mission and values. And we had people in the fellowship hall doing that work. And we had people go, ooh, I have a hard time with the word God. Of course, when they say that to me, I want to go, God, 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 God.
Yeah, or even better,
or
Jesus.
Well, yeah. I've had people say that to me too. I can't deal with the word Jesus,
yes.
Jesus. You know, it's like, okay, what is that about for me? What about that word pushes my buttons and I don't feel oneness? Because I, like Gregory, have used the word it. The first time I heard the word it was Ricky Bowers singing it, that it. And then I had somebody in my congregation say, oh, we can't sing that word because that's not right. It should be God, not it. It's like, it can't be it. I was like, wow. We get all caught up in words and what they mean to us. And as yesterday, our experience in here, words, some of them made people uncomfortable. And some of them went, oh, that one feels really good, when somebody else at the table was going, that doesn't feel good to me at all. And how do we get to this experience of the divine and oneness when we're still dealing with this humanness? You answer that question, my dear.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
You know what? Here's how we get to it. We intend to. We intend to. And you say, see, there are moments where I've been moving through these stages because, you know, they're not linear. Oh, we made it sound like it was linear. You start at 1, you go to 2, you go to 3, and then you end up at 4, and hallelujah, I made it. No, it's not like that. You see, it's cyclical.
You know, when someone comes into my life and says, Denise, I didn't like it when you said such and such and such and such, I forget as me and oneness, and I go all the way down to the victim place. Yeah. It's like, oh, they don't like me.
Yeah. They come and go. They come and go. But the job, the work, the journey is to notice. Oh, wait, I'm acting like a victim today. I thought I shed that years ago. Not this moment you didn't. And it's okay. See, back to the 4 agreements. The thing I love about the 4th agreement when it says, always do your best, and then Miguel quickly says, and your best will change. From day to day, from minute to minute. You know, and there'll be moments you have to say, oh, beloved, talking about yourself, I forgive you for that one. That one wasn't you at your best. But I'm pretty sure I could move up this scale. I could move to a different place because, well, it's me. It's me, right here, back home. You know, and recognizing with intention. This journey is about intention. We get that, right? So those days that I wake up and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just going to drift into this thing. Well, good luck with finding oneness. But when I get up and say, my goal today is to live as many moments as I can in oneness, knowing who I am, knowing what I want, knowing what I think, knowing what I feel, and that it's all being guided from this place of the mystic. Yeah. I say to my clients a lot, be a unicorn. Know that you are a unicorn. You know, you can get out there and try to keep your cool card. I want everyone to think I'm cool. You know, or you're, I'm big and I'm strong and I'm all those human adaptive strategies that we've created to try to feel safe, loved, aware, belong. But if I can let all of that go and then all of a sudden, look, oh, wait, I'm going in here and look who's in here. Lovely, lovely me. Lovely, lovely me that is me, but also greater than me. And now talk about some gratitude. See, that's the life we want, and that's the life that brings abundance.
Yes, it is.
And it's that abundance that leads to gratitude.
Yes, it is. And so Gregory is getting ready to do a spiritual mind treatment with you around all of these ideas. And I want to give you a little hint. When that's over, we're getting ready to have a piece of music that you've never heard before in this way. So just get ready, because this is another piece of Not Your Grandmother's Thanksgiving service.
Thank you.
May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, cslnashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at lovecsln.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.